going on, guys? This is not your ordinary guy. This is your motivation guy, your friend, the one and only Keith Allen, Bunch of Crunch Army. Man, as you probably already know, some big changes were made to shotguns in the recent Season 4 update. Tactical shotguns were completely removed. Pumps and combats have returned, and the charge has actually stayed the same. This begs the question, which shotgun is actually the best in Season 4? Ever since the release of Season 4, this debate has been raging in the community. So in this video, we're gonna settle this once and for all. But before we get started, if you guys didn't know, we just added a brand new VOD replay coaching system at ProGuides.com. We also have courses from some of the top pros in the game, along with one-on-one coaching from pro players who can help you step up your game in Fortnite. Go check it out as soon as possible if you want to reach that next level. Also, I got a question for you guys. Which shotgun is your personal favorite in this season? So far, mine has gotta be the pump. As much as I like to charge in combat, the pump is just the one shotgun that feels 100% good at all times. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and let me know as well if this video ends up changing your mind. Alright, with that said, Bunch of Crunch Army, it's time to sit back, relax, and grab some of my favorite candy. What is that, y'all? It's that Bunch of Crunch, and let's get this going. Alright, so let's start off by talking about each shotgun and the strengths and weaknesses of each. Then we'll move into the stats and get a little bit more detailed about each one. You guys ready? Here we go. First up, we've got the newly returned shotgun, the one we know and love, the pump shotgun. The pump shotgun really doesn't need much explanation. The pump is the shotgun we all know and love. High damage, medium range, and a heavy hitter if you manage to outplay your opponent. The pump is basically your classic go-to shotgun for whatever purpose. The second shotgun we currently have is the charge shotgun. The charge is somewhat similar to the pump, but really fits a more slow, angle-based playstyle instead of a fast, aggressive playstyle where you go look for quick shots. The charge rewards you for playing slower, lining up a good shot, and hitting that shot. You're essentially working with both a slower playstyle, but getting a higher reward in return if you do it right. Finally, we have our third shotgun, which is the combat shotgun. The combat is probably the closest shotgun to the tactical, which was recently vaulted. It benefits an extremely fast-paced playstyle, but not necessarily to the extent of the tactical, where you sort of just jump in your opponent's face and just hope for the best. Unfortunately, the re-edition of the combat shotgun came with a pretty major nerf, but we're gonna get into that in a bit. Overall, guys, each shotgun definitely favors a different playstyle, really. Like, the pump is pretty much for people who are good at box fighting and, play with a fast pace. The charge is for players who really are more on a precision and timing in exchange for high damage. And the combat is more of like a spray type of thing, but it does allow for a fast play style that doesn't necessarily involve going straight into your opponent. Alright, so moving on, we're going to briefly cover the stats of each weapon, which may give you a bit of more insight, which weapon suits you the best. Starting off, we got pure damage. Alright, the pumps have a base damage of 70, 80, 90, 100, and 110 from a common to legendary. The combats have 50, 53, and 55 from rare to legendary. And the charges, when they aren't on full charge, have 80, 85, 80, 94, and 98. We're going to consider those the numbers, since usually you won't be charging all the way before you shoot the charge, right? As you can tell, each shotgun's damage really seems to correlate with its actual playstyle. The charge, which rewards you for being slower, has a high damage with a slower fire rate. The combat has the lowest damage but the fastest fire rate, and the pump is right in the middle with both. Alright, keep in mind, guys, while the pump's damage numbers for high rarities are slightly higher than the charge, oftentimes you won't be shooting instantly with the charge and will slightly charge it before shooting. So the charge typically gives higher damage. The issue is this: with the combat, the damage is extremely low, 50 to 55 damage per shot. Even with the combat's high fire rate, pretty darn low. Yeah, I just said the word darn. That's actually one of my favorite words. And the headshot multiplier at only 1.5, you can't even hit for over 90 damage with a perfect combat headshot. Overall, I'm gonna say the combat is overall the weakest shotgun this season. I get where Epic was coming from, by nerfing it, but they definitely nerfed it a bit too hard, and it's really not viable to the season, at least as of now. Overall, in terms of pure stats, the charge definitely takes the cake as the strongest, but the pump is an extremely close second. However, it's important to note that statistics and viability are two very different things, so we're gonna get into that next. But before we move on, guys, like if you're still struggling in this meta, trust me when I tell you, ProGuides.com is where one of our pro coaches can really help you understand the ins and outs of the game and give you the information that you need to be really good. Alright, so we've already ruled the combat shotgun out as basically the weakest of the 3 shotguns this season, and the charge being statistically the best for damage. But the thing is this, alright, that the pump and charge are extremely close competitors, and the only thing that really sets them apart is their ease of use and generally how viable they are. By now, alright, everyone knows how the pump functions, right? You click and it shoots your opponent. Pretty complicated, right? On the other hand, alright, we got the charge. With the charge, you have to play extremely controlled and intelligent. You have to take your time. You have to set up a precise angle and basically put yourself in the perfect situation to take the shot and actually hit for maximum damage. The big question, guys, is whether or not this inconvenience is worth the high damage. And, you know, that's what's going to determine what the best shotgun actually is. And to be completely honest, we think the pump takes the cake for viability. I mean, it's an insanely heavier hitter. You can still one pump, which hasn't been taken into account, and it still hits for massive damage. On top of all of that, you don't even have to set up for the perfect situation with the pump. You can still play intelligent and get angles, and while it won't hit quite as heavy as the charge in that situation, you'll still get a good shot off. And in that situation where you're in close range and you need to be mechanical and get your shot off, the pump absolutely wins every single time. Overall, in terms of how viable and simple the weapon is, the pump easily wins, since there isn't really much to it, really. Like, you can just play really any playstyle you want, and the pump is going to back you up. Overall, man, like each shotgun in Fortnite has its unique uses, right? And determining a unanimous best really isn't realistic since there are so many different play styles. However, I will say this, okay? There is one shotgun that 90% of players will probably be best with this season, and that's the pump shotgun. If we have to pick a winner here, and I mean like right here, it goes to the pump. Overall, the fact that you can play so many different play styles while still hitting heavy chunks of damage on every shot while using the pump outweighs the fast fire rate and range of the combat, and the heavy shots and skill curve of the charge. The pump is easily the most rounded, and while it does fall behind the charge in combat in some categories, it's definitely the most well-rounded. And not to mention the smooth, buttery one pumps we all love to hit. There are exceptions to this rule, of course, and really we recommend simply playing to your preference. Most of you guys are probably going to prefer the pump, but some of you might like the charge the best, or maybe even the combat. I strongly recommend, guys, having the pump as your first choice, but if you like another shotgun better, don't be afraid to use it. Everyone plays differently, and everyone has different preferences, right? So you might simply be better with a shotgun someone else dislikes. All right, guys, once again, this is your motivation guide. That's right, man. Your friend, the one and only Keith Allen. I'm so pumped up for this season, man. This is gonna be your best season yet. So if you wanted to give up before, hey, get back up. Don't be demotivated, be motivated. And connect with me on my Insta at Your Motivation Guide. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about this video, and let me know which shotgun you like the best, along with, you know, if this video changed your mind. And once again, make sure to check out ProGuides.com for all of our improvement needs, whether it's live classes, courses from your favorite players like Mongrel and Benji, or 24/7 on-demand coaching from pro players. We've got it all. And seriously, I know you're gonna enjoy it. Finally, there's one last thing I want to mention to you guys. We notice a lot of you aren't in the ProGuides community Discord. All right, come on, bro. Like, what are you waiting for? We got community tournaments now, channels where you can find teammates, giveaways. The server has it all. So be sure to check it out alongside our website. The links will be down in the description, and keep eating that bunch of crunch, and let's get this going.